Hello, YouTubers. This is Joe Bravo with Mo Bravo Knife Reviews, and today I have what's going to be the first in a series of videos I am going to be doing. I know everybody that's watched this channel has seen that I had an affinity for knives with holes and multiple deployment methods. Well, now it seems that because of my good friend Anton and Anton Knives, I have really been enjoying the front flipper. So what I wanted to do is come up with a couple of videos showcasing these front flippers and comparing them against each other. And now this is going to be my benchmark. You guys know that I love the Anton knives, that this full-size Boudica is one of my favorite knives to handle, to carry, to play with, to use. It is a fantastic offering. But I wanted to try some of the others, so I picked up a Mitchell Clark Gunstock, and this is a 3.3-inch version. It's on cage bearings. It's got a ceramic detent. It has a Zerk collar, which is one of his claim to fames, and it's got the Zerk clip. And all in all, it is a very beautiful looking knife with the Agir Dama steel. Everybody knows that I am a fan of twill carbon fiber, and it is a very nice knife. It is light, and it's hard. It's funny. I'm gonna get my my Cortex out, and it'd be interesting just to see. I wish I could, without taking them apart, determine how heavy or light the blades are. One of the things I don't care for Dama steel sometimes is that it is light. I don't know if it's the Zerk blade, the Zerk scales, but I don't find that my Dama steel Cortex blade is light. And one of the reasons why I brought it out is I wanted to just compare the blade stock. I'd say these blade stocks are similar. I would give it that the blade stock on the Cortex, though, is actually a thicker piece of steel to start with. And you can see that in the jimping area for manipulating the top flipper. And as you can see, there is a shit ton of purchase available to get at that, which means this Cortex blade is a thicker blade stock from the start than the Gunstock, and just something that I think lends itself to this being a little bit heavier piece of steel. It doesn't feel too light, and again, I don't know if that's a testament to Craig's design in the Cortex, or the fact that he uses the cage ceramic bearings, but yeah, this Dama steel feels so light. I added a drop of KPL when I got it, and this thing is a guillotine. I mean, it's not often you see a knife be this drop shut and have a blade that just feels so light. Like there's no, in physics, in statics, we used to call it moment, and it was the act applying, the forces applying on a area at rest. Now, I know this isn't at rest because it's so free dropping, but you don't feel the blade having anything to do with changing the location of the rest of the knife itself, the scales, in tipping its center of gravity, I guess you could say. That's not the case with the Boudica. I mean, this Boudica blade is humongous, and it too is drop shut, but it's almost like a different drop shut. The drop shut is because, and I mean, this is a 3.75-inch blade, and it's a thick blade stock, so you feel that weight transition from when the detent and the lock bar is released. You could feel that change. It's effortless, don't get me wrong, it's smooth, And I love it because it really just, you could feel it. I mean, just solid. This with the carbon fiber, this with the lighter Dama steel blade, when it drops, you hardly even recognize it. And it's something that I'm going to have to get used to. Whether I like it or don't like it doesn't mean if it's good or not good. But it's just a really creative design aspect of this knife. It is a liner lock, so there is no recess. One of the things that I'm excited, I'm going to get a sham, and that does have a little bit of a recess, if I remember correctly, to get your hand into the liner lock area. This does not, and I guess because of that, you almost feel like it's dangerous. I mean, this thing's going to cut me. It really is. It's so fast to close. It's so guillotine that if you don't hit that liner right, I'm almost ready to just have it shake to get it past that detent ramp. One of the cool things about this knife is I could pointer finger flick it. I don't know. I haven't tried to do it on the Boudica, primarily because it's so freaking big that to get your hand up here with that tick, that it's kind of difficult. I think with the sham, I'll probably have a little bit better ease of doing so. This just feels like that geometry is great, and the detent is lighter on this guy because it's a liner lock. Anton really does a great job with his detent. I mean, you gotta work at flipping this knife with the pointer finger, and it's again one of the things that I really enjoy about the Anton knives Boudica is that with its firm detent, it is always a satisfying deployment method. Always. I mean, maybe it'll scrape your skin a little bit, but it's just so fun every time. And when you get it right, it's like there's no detent at all. It's amazing. Anton, as he was teaching me, said, set your finger in the right spot. When you feel it, it should be no resistance at all. And there's not. But there's the difference between being no resistance and having a light detent. Now, I haven't had to shake this one out. Yeah, I knew that was going to happen. And, I'm going to ask my buddy that I'm getting the sham from, Ignacio. It's a liner lock, not a frame lock. And I'm interested to see if the detent on that is able to be shaken open. I don't find that it is a detriment of a good knife or a bad knife. But after getting used to the detent on the Anton, being able to deploy it with such a strong detent as effortlessly as you can, it's really enjoyable. Really enjoyable. I don't want to say this isn't enjoyable. I'm saying that it's just a little bit more enjoyable than a traditional liner lock. It's almost like this is too easy. And again, that's probably why I could pointer finger flick it. You laugh. Here I am talking about how I could pointer flick it. There you go. The jimping on this is a little more aggressive than I thought it would be. I'm getting the hang of it now. It's all about finding that tick. There it is. And if you don't know how to do this, you just kind of put your pointer finger on that same spot you'd have your thumb at and roll it over. And because this is a frame or a liner lock, I could squeeze the hell out of this thing and still get it to deploy. Whereas on the frame lock, it certainly takes a little bit more finesse to make sure that you don't get that spot wrong. Because if you do and you're holding on to that detent to the lock bar, it'll remind you real quick when you leave most of your finger skin. Look, it's even getting chewed up now. There it is, yeah. So what's my favorite? It's easy to say it's the Anton. Is there a place for the Gunstock? Without a doubt. This is the classiest fucking knife that I think I own next to my Cortex. I'll even go out and say that the style of the Mitch Clark might even be a little bit more fancier, classier. I think if you busted out this guy, there's no doubt about it, you'll turn some heads about its beauty and refinement. The Cortex with the milled scales, I think that I find that the twill pattern that Craig did is a little bit more refined, a little bit more classy, than the Zerk. But the balance and the trade-off with the balance of the blade stock and the Zerk scales, that weight difference really just exceeds what you would get with carbon fiber twill on the scale set. Again, this Damasteel is out of control beautiful. I threw some Windex on there, I actually use Pledge multi-surface, and I'm just going to be promoting that because what it does for, you can barely even see it because it's so shiny. Let me see if I could, and let's see, can I zoom? And yeah, it's great. It really is. It's classy, it's great, it's a sweet knife. It's a sweet blade. Even though I'm not a Damasteel guy, I'm still happy with it. And yeah, so I have a Burger Atlas coming in. That one is titanium frame with frame lock and LMAX steel. It's going to be about 3.4 inches. I'm hoping that its blade stock is a little thicker than this, a little heavier than this, and I can really enjoy that thwack. But I will say, the acoustics on this thing are not lacking for such ease of use flip, for such what feels like a light blade stock, And again, I don't know if it feels light because the action's tuned so well. I'm definitely finding the right spot with the lock bar and the detent rep nail. Everybody knows I don't like to keep my fingers under there. Yeah. That's going to grow on me, and I'm really interested to see how the Burger and the Sham compare. So yeah, I'm going to go call up my buddy Ignacio and tell him I want the Sham, and I should have that on the channel in about a week or so. And then we could do a nice showdown between my favorite, the Boudica, and the other guys. Alright, like, subscribe, and comment, and have a lovely 4th of July weekend. Thanks.